What's going on? Welcome to another Path Minutes episode. And today I want to talk about the return of bad habits. Because we hear so much, and myself included, like to explore the creation of good habits, good routines, and how that helps you move forward. But the thing is, we're all human beings, myself 100% included. And bad habits return, and they return quickly, and they return hard. And this has happened to me recently. And I had some big life changes come up in my personal life, including a big move. And there's just a lot of things going on in my life. And all of a sudden, I look back and I realize, holy shit, I was in a great place. I had a great routine, great habits formed when I first woke up, when I went to bed, work habits. And then slowly but surely, they started to fall off. And it's kind of crazy how it happens because you know it's happening, but you don't truly recognize it till some time has gone by. And then it sort of hits you, whoa, I am back to square one in a way. And that happened to me. All of a sudden, these bad habits started coming back. I was staying up later. I was watching Netflix, and I would keep watching it because all of a sudden I was uninspired when I woke up to do my work. And you start just coasting, and you're not 100% into what you're doing. And when it comes to Netflix and keep watching it and getting into those shows, sure, you get interested in the show, but really, at least for myself, you want to avoid going to bed because you know when you wake up, you're now disorganized. You don't have that clear set path. You don't have that routine anymore because you've fallen off. So you wake up and you sort of just open up the computer. You don't have that set plan. And all of a sudden you're in this place and you're lost again in a way. And it's hard to come back from that. But knowing that you've done it before, and you sort of know the steps to get there, it makes it easier. And we all do this, right? How many of us, New Year's is not that long from now, which is crazy. So 3 months from now, all of us like to get those New Year's resolutions, and how many of us stick to it for a week or two? But when it comes to say you want to eat healthy for the next month for a big wedding coming up or anything like that, we fall off right after and you go back into all your bad habits. And it builds up. It's the same way when you're going down and when you're going up, you build upon another. And when it comes to bad habits versus good habits, bad routines versus good routines, it's pretty crazy how much easier those bad habits are to pick back up. And I could recognize it just happening one after the other. When it comes to staying up late, all of a sudden I wasn't doing my mental work. Next thing I know, instead of going to the gym, I'm going on long walks at night. On the weekends, I'm going out more, staying out later, drinking more. And it's just all a huge compound effect. And then that translates into you not doing what you need to do to get shit done in whatever aspect of life you're trying to move forward in. I mean, that's just life, right? There's ups and downs along the way. And why building good habits and routines is so important, and this is a huge lesson I've learned now, is to really get those concrete in your life. So when you do go through the hard times that I personally went through not long ago, you're able to keep those so you can keep your mind right, keep your health right. But sometimes you're going to lose your way a little bit like I did. And now I am back on the upswing, but I'm not 100% back to where I was, say, in June. And I know that. But I also know exactly where I can be, where I have been, and how to get there. So I want to explore breaking out of bad habits when you've already, you know where you've been and what you've built before and how to break through. And really, the first thing, and this usually is if you've gained weight or if you're partying too hard or whatever that may be, the first thing is to be completely honest with yourself. And it took me a little while to, but once I was completely honest with myself and realized, okay, I'm out of what I'm doing, I don't have that clarity and focus that I need. And you know what the second step was? Reaching out to others. Part of this great journey I've been on is I've been able to connect with some really amazing, inspiring people along the way. And those are the type of people who want to help you. And we all have people in our lives regardless. Like everyone has a really positive influence, someone you look up to. That is what I would say is key. Find someone you look up to have that conversation with who you don't want to disappoint. And they're going to be able to be understanding, know where you come from, but also give you that little kick in the ass to get going. So figure out how to be completely honest with yourself, recognize how you lost your way, why you did it, and then start to build out that game plan to get back on track. And time after time, there's the quote, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Find the people that are going to support you and find the people that are going to give you that kick in the ass to get going again. And that's what I did. I didn't only reach out to one person either. I reached out to several people. And that was the first ignition. I turned that ignition key into getting back on track. And then, like anything, write out how you want to get back to where you were. I built up a really good set of habits and routines, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to do it just in 1 week again. So you start with the small things and build on that. And everyone's different, so you can definitely adjust this. But this has worked for me, and I think it translates to a lot of us. But again, you're your own person, so be able to adjust this. And know when you do lose that way, just be honest, reach out to someone, and then start building out a game plan. Write it down. One of the most powerful things I've understood during this time of entrepreneurship and starting my own thing and trying to get by and pay bills is having a written out game plan and how crucial that is to execution. And so write that out. Write out the next 6 weeks, and each week build upon it. And it's sort of just going back to when you're building good habits in the first place. So for me, it was to start doing my brag book and gratitude journal again. And that's the first thing that starts switching I knew that for me, getting my mind in that place again was going to be very powerful because that's the springboard to me pushing forward. And then you start building on that and you build that out. And at the same time, also list out those bad habits that you've picked back up. So set an alarm. If you're staying up late watching Netflix, set that alarm that you're not going to watch Netflix past 10 p.m. And that's what I was doing. When I was in full force, I didn't bring my I didn't bring my phone to bed, and I was reading before it. So start not watching Netflix. If you're going out too much, don't go out on Fridays past 11 p.m. Set boundaries. So write out the good habits that you want, and then also start setting boundaries in how to get rid of the bad habits again. And then start working that. Give yourself time. Don't be in this huge hurry. Like, definitely come from a place of, I want to get going, have the energy towards it, but don't stress yourself out by trying to get everything in 1 week. Give yourself time. Give yourself a month, 2 months, whatever works best for you, and write out that game plan. It's just like setting goals, and look at that every day when you wake up and look at it every night before you go to bed. Just write that out, print it out, write it on a loose leaf, whatever you want to do. But keep reminding yourself every day by looking at that, and also follow up with the people who you've reached out to, who's going to help you along the way. Give yourself some accountability that's not just yourself, because if you're in a place where you're not performing how you want and you have some bad habits that have resurfaced, you're not in the position to just rely on yourself. You'll hear time and time again from successful people, having accountability from someone else besides yourself is a huge, huge factor, because you don't want to let them down. It's very easy to let yourself down, especially when you are in a place that you're not 100% where you want to be. And again, this is coming from my personal experience very recently. It's crazy how fast that happens. because I was so happy where I was. I was in the best mindset of my life, probably. Healthy mind and body. And all of a sudden, it just vanished. And it's not like I was in this super bad place or anything. And that's another reason why it can be hard to recognize at first, is because I'm still going about everyday life, and it's not like I have a little anxiety coming back, but not a ton. But then I realized you're sort of coasting and you're not moving forward. You're not taking those big action steps towards what you need. And you start to just put things off. You always make an excuse that you're going to start the next day, which I can be a pro at when I'm in that mind frame. But it's a really good learning experience, I've realized, because I thought that, I've built this up, these habits and routines. Like, I am golden. I am set for life. You're on a high. But guess what? Life comes at you fast. And then next thing you know, you've taken a few, if not many steps back. But you always have to know that you can get right back there. And again, I'm not 100% there yet, but I'm well on my way. And part of me sharing this is to keep me motivated, to keep doing it. And if you are in that place right now, listen to those steps. Be honest with yourself. Reach out to someone you look up to, and then start building out that game plan. Write it down week by week, the habits you want to start instilling again. And then also set boundaries and set weeks to eliminate those bad habits once again. It's not super complicated like a lot of things. It's just actually putting in the work and taking action towards doing it. And if you want to talk to me about it, or you have any questions about it, reach out to me at sean@ubpath.com, because I am someone who was great at bad habits in my college years and early professional life, and have spent a great deal of time and effort to flip that switch, get into good habits. And I've gotten to the good place, went back down a few times, but recently the best place I was, and gone back down, and now I'm working my way back up. And if you want any help, reach out, sean@ubpath.com. That is Path Minutes for the week. Next week, have an awesome interview. And it actually is going to be, the first half of that interview is something I've really never talked about on the show. And my guest just happens to be very knowledgeable in it. And it's a really fun topic, getting into the crazy technology that's coming about us, and virtual reality and AI and all that. Really interesting conversation. You're going to enjoy it. And then the second half, get more into his story. But definitely one of my favorite conversations and interviews I've had to date. Really smart, intelligent person who is awesome. And I'm excited to put that out. And obviously I'll have another Path Minutes on Friday. So with that, enjoy your weekend if you're listening to this on Friday. And if not, just enjoy your day. And I will see you next time here on The Unbeaten Path.